crores.
The exposure which the Reserve Bank we have.
Welcome, this is BloombergQuint. The festive season's not turned out to be such a joyous one for PVR, the country's largest multiplex owner. Saw its bottom line decline despite a rise in revenue. So has 2020 brought with it winds of change? And are the new movie launches looking promising? Let's put the question to Nitin Sood, the CFO of PVR, who joins us now from Delhi. Nitin, good morning and thanks for taking the time out. Let's start by your assessment of the quarter gone by, the factors that you attribute to the earnings this time.
So I'd like to start by, correcting your first statement on the results. In fact, box office has been on a roll this year and it's been an excellent year for PVR. I think the big change that you see in the reported numbers versus last year is essentially due to adoption of the new accounting standards, which require us to capitalize all our leases on our balance sheet and then, provide for them in the P&L. As a result of which, the numbers are not comparable. So I think from an operating performance review, you should look at our Ind AS adjusted numbers, where in this quarter you would see our revenues are up 8%, and our EBITDA is up 5 to 6%, and PAT is up 7%, adjusted for the Ind AS numbers. So overall performance has been very strong. Operating margins for the quarter were 20.4%. Which is almost similar to what we did in the previous year, same quarter.
Okay, Nitin, so can you tell us a little more about what we can expect with respect to the upcoming quarter in terms of launches and what, you guys are factoring in some sort of projection?
Yeah, I think if you look at box office for Q4, it has started on a big note. You've had very strong films in South India with Darbar and Mahesh Babu's film releasing in South, and even Bollywood film industry has kind of started on a very strong note. We saw good news continuing into January with strong numbers, and now this Friday we have two films which are opening to very strong reviews. The quarter outlook looks very promising. A lot of big films slated for release in this February and March. So we're looking forward to a great quarter. In addition to box office, our F&B business has done really well. Our average spend per person by people on F&B has actually moved up 11% during the previous quarter, and now average spending has touched a three-digit number of 100 rupees per person, which is almost doubled over a 5-year period if you look at it. So clearly, we are finding consumers enjoying the cinema experience, coming back more often, not just enjoying the movies and the environment, but also, lapping up the food that they now get at cinemas.
Nitin, just a question on occupancy levels. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Your occupancy has declined to around 33.4% against 35.6%. I believe this is year on year. Would you attribute this to the slowdown in the macro, or are there other reasons behind this?
No, so this quarter occupancy has been marginally lower, largely because southern India has been very slow. Tamil and Telugu films have not worked. They have underperformed in comparison to Q3 of last year. And last year we have 2.0, which was Rajnikant's release in Q3 on Diwali, and we had no film to match that this quarter. So that's the prime reason for decline in average occupancy. Hollywood and Bollywood industries actually done better than previous year, but because we have a large concentration of cinemas in South, the underperformance of Tamil and Telugu has impacted the occupancy marginally. I wouldn't look too much into that. Our business is not a quarter-on-quarter business. Film release dates keep moving. So fourth quarter has started very strong for South Indian film industry with Pongal, and we expect that will bounce back in this quarter.
Okay, Nitin, also at this point you have about 67 screens which opened the financial year to date. And if I'm not mistaken, you're looking to open as many as 90 to 100 through the course of the year. So are you guys on course with that? And I understand that some quarters may have a relatively lower number of screen additions as compared to some other quarters. Are these numbers looking up? Are you guys on target right now?
You're right, absolutely we are on target. We have almost 30 to 40 screens which are lined up for opening in this quarter, and we are reasonably confident of achieving our guidance. And this will probably be one of our highest screen opening years, and we hope that next year will look as promising, but we'll be in a better position to give guidance for next fiscal by next quarter.
And just a final question then, Nitin, when it comes to the food and beverages segment, is there any pressure on pricing based on regulations at this point in time? Do you anticipate any weakness going forward? Not necessarily a decline, but well, a subdued growth when it comes to food and beverages?
No, absolutely not. There is no regulatory pressure at all on this. We are not regulated by anyone as far as F&B is concerned, and operate on the same basis as like all restaurants and operators do. We in fact are doing a lot of stuff on changing F&B in cinemas, including putting live kitchens, creating health food options, creating a lot of menu offerings that cinemas never used to offer. And our F&B experiments are really working, which is helping us to drive F&B up. We continue to believe F&B spends in cinemas will grow with a lot of innovations that we are bringing.
Okay, Nitin, we leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining us and talking to us here on BloombergQuint. Wish you the best for the future.
Rabindranath Tagore University, formerly known as ISECT University, the pioneers in skill development with focus on creating industry-ready professionals. Join India's premier skill-based university, Rabindranath Tagore University.
In this episode, we bring you an insight into the